Hello friends, welcome to my channel. Today we'll see the maximum profit in job scheduling. This is our problem statement. We have n jobs where every job is scheduled to be done from start time I to end time I, obtaining a profit of profit I. You are given the start time, end time and profit arrays. Return the maximum profit you can take such that there are no two jobs in the subset with overlapping time range. By overlapping time range, we mean to say that you cannot perform two jobs simultaneously. You can start with a job only when you have completed the previous job. If you choose a job that ends at time X, you will be able to start another job that starts at time X. We are going to solve this using the dynamic programming method. Let's first look at the solution approach. Let's assume this is our input given. The first row represents the array of start time, the second represents the array of end time, and the last array of profit. Now we are going to create 5 instances. Since there are 5 jobs, I am going to create 5 job instances with each job containing the start time, end time, and the profit of the job. At first, my job instances were not sorted, but now I have sorted them according to the end time value such that the end time value goes on increasing. As you can see here, my E value was 3, 5, 10, 6 and 9 before sorting, and after the sorting they are arranged such that 3, 5, 6, 9 and 10. Now we'll create another array called DP. And I'm going to initialize the first value of the DP array as 20, which is nothing but the profit obtained by performing the first job. Now I'm going to create another array called DP, and I'm going to initialize the first value of DP to 20. This is nothing but the profit that I will obtain by performing the first job. Now I'm going to pick my second job. As I pick my second job, I need not perform any binary search. I shall directly proceed to check whether the end time of the first job is lesser than or equal to the start time of my second job. Since the end time of the first job is 3 and the start time of my second job is 2, I cannot be performing both these because there is an overlapping of time range. Therefore, I can either do the first job or I'll have to do the second job. Therefore, the profit I'll obtain if I perform the second job will only be 20. Now, I'll be picking the third job. In this case, I can perform binary search between the first 2 instances of the job, and I'll be finding that I can perform my third job only when I do the first job because the second job ends at 5, but the third job that I have picked now cannot be performed if I do the second job. Therefore, I'll have to do the first job and then do my third job. In this case, my profit will be 70 plus 20, which is the profit that I would obtain by performing the third and the first job. Now I'm going to pick the fourth job instance. When I pick the fourth job, I'll be performing binary search between the first 3 instances of job, and I can find that I'll be able to do my fourth job if I do the second job, which is my second job ends at 6 and the third job begins at 6. Therefore, I can perform these 2 jobs without any overlapping of time range. Therefore, the profit I would get is the profit of performing fourth job, that is 60, along with the profit of performing the third job. As you can see, the profit that we had obtained was 90 for the third job. I will be adding 90 to the profit of the current job. At last, I am going to pick the fifth job and perform binary search within the first 4 objects of job. As you can see, I'll be able to perform the fourth job only if I do the first job, because the other jobs end at 5, 6 and 9 are always greater than the start time of the fifth job. Therefore, I cannot perform second, third and fourth job if I choose to pick the fifth job. Therefore, I'll have to consider only doing first and the last job if I wanted to pick 5. Therefore, in this case, my profit would be only 120, whereas the profit that we had obtained by doing the previous job was 150, which is clearly greater than 120. Therefore, we'll store the maximum value that we had obtained in the previous step in the last index of our DP array. And this will be the value that we written at the end of the function. Now let's look at the algorithm. This is the algorithm for job scheduling. S and E represents the array of start and end time of n jobs, and P represents the profit of each job ordered such that the end time of the jobs keeps increasing. And we are going to create another array called DP, and this is going to be our solution array. At first, I have initialized the 0th index of DP to the profit of first job, and then I'm going to iterate. As I said, I'll be performing binary search of the previous instances of the job, and then we are going to consider if this job can be performed, and then we are going to store the maximum out of the previous and the current element that we have obtained in our DP array. And at last, we will be returning the last element present in our DP array. Now let's dive into the code flow. Now let's dive into the coding portion. This is the code snippet in Java. Here I'll be performing iterations to create instances of job, and then I'll be sorting them such that the end time of the job keeps increasing. Here I'll be performing a binary search in order to find which job can be done without overlapping if I tend to pick the current job. And at last, I'll be comparing the maximum value and I'll be retaining the value which is maximum. Let's assume we are given a sample input of 1, 2, 3, 4 and 6 as the start times, and 3, 5, 10, 6 and 9 as the end time, and 20, 100, 70 and 60 be our profit array. We are supposed to get the output as 150. Now let's check the code flow.
I have created a class named job which can store the start time, end time and the profit of the job.
For my code flow, I have considered another instance where my start time array would consist 1, 1, 1 and my end time array would consist 3, 2 and 4 and the profit would be 5, 6 and 4. At first, I'm going to create a variable called length and I'm going to initialize it to the length of my profit array, which is nothing but 3. And then I'm going to create 3 instances of my job class. Here I'm going to iterate 3 times and instantiate my job variable. Each time I create a variable, I'll be calling the job constructor with the corresponding start time, end time and the profit of the job I have picked. So after creating the 3 instances, this is how my job array would look. As you can see, as of now, my job array is not sorted according to the end time. I have overridden the comparator such that the end time is always increasing, and after I get my instances sorted, they'll be arranged in the order as you can see. Now I'm going to create another array called DP. At first, I'm initializing only the 0th index of my DP with the profit of my first job. Here, as you can see, the profit of my first job is 6. Therefore, I'll mark the 0th index of the DP array as 6. Now we can start with our iteration. We'll be picking the second job at our very first iteration. I'm creating a local variable called low and initializing it to 0, and another variable high, which is nothing but iter minus 1. Since my iter value is 1, 1 minus 1 is 0. Now as you can see, 0 is not less than 0. We'll break out of this loop, and I'm going to initialize the second index of my DP array with the profit of the second job. That is, DP of 1 will be initialized to 5. After this, I'm going to check if the end time of the previous job was less than or equal to the start time of the current job. As you can see, the previous job end time is 2, but the start time of my current job is 1. Therefore, I'll not execute this if block. I'm going to compare the previous value, that is dp of 0 and dp of 1, that is our current dp index. And as you can see, previously our dp of 1 was initialized to 5, but since dp of 0 is greater than that of dp of 1, we are going to store the value of dp of 0 in dp of 1. Therefore, I'll be changing 5 as 6. Now we are going to iterate once again. Now my iter value is incremented to 2. I'm going to again initialize my low variable to 0, and my high value would be 1. Now as you can see, 0 is less than 1. Therefore, we'll enter into the while loop. Here we are going to create another variable called mid. And this is how I'm going to compute the value of my mid. That is by adding low with high minus low plus 1 divided by 2. Here our high value is 1, and 1 minus 0 plus 1, I would get 2, divided by 2 is again 1. Therefore 0 plus 1 is 1, and my mid value is 1. After this, I'm going to compare the end time of the job of 1 with the current job's start time. As you can see, the end time of job of 1 is 3, whereas the start time of job of 2 is 1. Therefore, I'll skip to the if block, and I'm going to reduce the value of high to 0. Since my initial value, since my mid value is 1, 1 minus 1 is 0. So I'll store the value 0 in my high variable. Now when I try to iterate again, you can see 0 less than 0 will be my condition. Therefore, this will be false and we'll break out of this loop. Now I'm going to initialize the last index of the DP array with the profit of the job that I have picked. Currently the job we have picked has a profit of 4. Therefore, I'll be initializing the last index of DP array as 4. Now I'm going to check whether the end time of the first job is less than the start time of the current job I have picked. Since low value is 0, the job of 0 has end time of 2 and the current job has start time of 1. Since 2 is not less than 1, we'll be moving to the next statement. Here, as usual, I'll be restoring the maximum value by comparing the current value of DP array and the previous value of the DP array. That is, I'll be comparing DP of 2 with DP of 1. Since 6 is greater than 4, I'll be storing 6 in the last index as well. When I try to iterate again, I find that 3 lesser than 3 is false. Therefore, I tend to break out of this loop. And at last, I'll be returning the value of the last element of the DP array, which is nothing but 6. Now let's look at the time and the space complexity. Time complexity is order of n into log n, where n is the number of jobs. The binary search algorithm that I have used takes order of log n time, and the loop in which we perform this binary search takes order of n time. Therefore, the time complexity is a product of both. The space complexity is order of n, where n is again the number of jobs or tasks. This is because we have used an array called BP of length n. Now it's your turn. You need to find the maximum profit that you can get when you're given start, end time, and the profit array are 1, 2, 3 and 3, 3, 4, 5 and 6, 50, 10, 40 and 70.